All right, so today we are going to get started, and I just want to introduce myself again. My name is Danielle Vaccaro. I'm one of the admissions counselors. I work with students primarily from the greater New York State area, Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse, and I'm joined by my colleague, Jake. Jake, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jake Smith. I work with Danielle in the admissions office. I work with students from the Pittsburgh area as well as the eastern side of Pennsylvania. So for those of you tuning in from those areas, I hope to be working with you in the near future.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake. And we have three wonderful student ambassadors that are joining us here today. And I'd like each of them to introduce themselves as well. So we'll start with June. If you could just tell us your name, your year that you currently are at Mercyhurst, and your major, that would be great. June?
Hi, everyone. My name is June Durkee. I am a senior from Tacoma Park, Maryland. That is like 35 minutes outside of the DC area. And I am studying hospitality management with a concentration in events.
Awesome. Thanks so much, June. Unfortunately, Olivia couldn't be with us today, so we'll move on to Lauren. Lauren, can you introduce yourself for everybody?
Yeah, hi, I'm Lauren Rogus. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go Steelers today. I am a senior education major, so I'm double majoring in early childhood special education with minors in ESL and art therapy.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lauren. And Henley, can you introduce yourself as well?
Hello, yes, I'm Henley. I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania, actually, and I'm a senior at Mercyhurst. I'm studying biology with a minor in public health and a concentration in pre-med.
Awesome. And thank you three so much for joining us today. I know that I'm looking forward to hearing about your experiences on campus, and I'm sure that everybody who's in attendance is as well. So without further ado, we'll just hop right in and get started. So we usually start off by talking a little bit about Mercyhurst roots and what that means for us as an institution. So we are located in Erie, Pennsylvania. We are essentially the halfway point between three major cities: Buffalo, New York, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Cleveland, Ohio. We were founded in 1926 by the Sisters of Mercy. We had 23 female students in our first class. In 1969, we opened up our campus to male students, and our first male graduate graduated in 1969. He is actually still part of our faculty in our art department, which is really exciting. Prior to this, we were Mercyhurst College. In 2012, we moved into university status. So you now know us as Mercyhurst University. And as of today, we have President Michael Victor serving over the university. He is our campus's 12th president. He was hired in 2015, and he's done quite a bit to help our campus grow. You can see on the right-hand side, this is one of the first pictures of campus in 1926. It's the building that you see when you drive through our main gates. It still looks very much like it does in that picture. The architecture is very much the same. There's a lot that's been built around it. And as a result of the moves that we've made, going coeducational and moving into university status, the campus itself has grown quite a bit into what we are today. Today, we have somewhere between 2,500 bachelor's degree students pursuing a four-year degree. We have 300 master's degree students pursuing a postgraduate degree. We have 550 associate degree students seeking two-year degrees. All of these students operate together on our campus now and take their classes and are successfully going on to become part of the Mercyhurst alumni group and going forth with their careers. In terms of academic programs, we have somewhere between 60 different programs themselves. You heard from our student ambassadors that many of them have a number of majors and minors, as well as pre-professional programs like Henley, who's pursuing pre-medicine as a concentration. Many of our majors have specific focus areas within them that students can declare as part of their programming. So like Henley going into pre-medicine, or June focusing on events within hospitality management, those are different concentrations that are offered. Many of our programs offer something like that for our students. We also have a number of graduate programs. Not only do we offer traditional two-year programs, we also have a number of 4+1 programs available, which means that you can complete your bachelor's degree and your graduate degree in 5 years. So you save yourself a year of time and a year of money, which is always a good benefit. For a full list of our academic programs, you can check out our website here, mercyhurst.edu/academics. Each webpage will tell you a little bit more about any of the specific majors you're interested in. It will also list minors and concentrations that are offered within each of those programs to give you a good idea of what you can expect from each of our programs. With all of these programs in mind, there are times where there are some students who know exactly what they want to do when they come to campus. There's also the option to come in as undecided. So if you're not sure of what major you'd like to pursue, that is also an option for you. In cases like that, you'll take some of your liberal arts classes to get those taken care of first. You'll work with a advisor to help you figure out what academic pathway is best for what you're interested in. We'll talk about academic advising in just a second. And you can work with our faculty to help you better understand what path is a good one for you. I feel that everybody comes in a different pathway in terms of how they found their program and if they knew what they were interested in. And I'd like for one of our students to talk about it. So June, can you talk a little bit about your experiences coming to Mercyhurst? Did you know your major when you were coming to Mercyhurst?
Sure thing. So as I mentioned, I'm currently wrapping up my studies in hospitality with a concentration in events. I knew firsthand coming in as a freshman that I wanted to study in the hospitality field. That was a definite yes, but I originally was put into a food and beverage concentration. So within the hospitality, there are 3 concentration pathways that students can focus on within this major. They are hotels, food and beverage, or events. So my first semester, I was thrown into some of the more food and beverage courses, and that gave me good exposure firsthand to realize that I did not want to pursue a career in the restaurant or food industry. And my parents knew that right off the bat. So what I was able to do was I was considering swapping out my concentration, not my major entirely, but switched over to events because I am more of the critical thinking and like organizing and putting on events. That was more of my forte. And I was able to, before my freshman year ended, just go to the registrar and declare my concentration to be events and not food and beverage. So as long as you're able to finally declare what major or /minor or concentration you want to pursue before your sophomore year ends, you'll be good to go and to make sure that you stay on the path to graduate in the 4 years. And I'm so glad that I'm in the events in the field because that is definitely the pathway I wanted. My career is going to take me for sure.
Awesome. Thanks so much, June. And I think that that's a great example of the type of flexibility that our students have when it comes to the curriculum. And not only that, but the number of support systems that are available on campus for students who, you know, may be in one category, but decide that they want to move on to something else. So in those cases, we have a number of areas that students can seek help in. One thing that makes Mercyhurst very unique amongst some other schools is we operate on a dual advising model. So what that means is a student has 2 different advisors that they work with. One is a faculty advisor. It's usually somebody in the department that a student declares their major in, typically a professor of theirs that they see frequently. They also have an academic counselor. This is somebody who is not affiliated with any specific academic program, but they do have a degree in some type of counseling available for students. And what these 2 advisors do is work together to ensure that students receive the support that they need to ensure that they're reaching their career goals. Whether you're an undecided student, whether you're a student who is torn between 2 different concentrations within your program, or you're just trying to figure out the best path for you, your advisors are available for you throughout the week, anytime, in person or by email, to help you out with anything that you may need. One way that they do this is through advising day. This is one specific day that our students can take advantage of their advisors. June, would you mind touching a little bit upon what advising day is?
Of course. So advising day occurs one time for each semester, and that is where you get to meet with your major advisor as well as your academic counselor, and you can propose like a block schedule of classes you wish to take in the next semester, whether it's within your major or any of the reach courses for your liberal arts, and they can help. They are there to give you advice on making sure you are meeting the criteria and your requirements when you register before advising day. So that's a day where there are no classes held. You just meet with your advisors. It's a good way to plan out your schedule for the next semester. And then a few days later, that's when the registrar day hits for each class, and each class gets a separate day to register. So that's how advising day works. And I'm very lucky within my major that I have been able to meet with my major advisor as well as my AIM advisor. That is who I go and meet with to discuss what sort of classes I need to take to fulfill any reach requirements or my major requirements as well. So advising day is so very good, and it's very nice because it really emphasizes how our student to faculty ratio is very strong, and the faculty really want to know each of us and guide us through how to move forward within our studies and make sure that we graduate on time and in the 4 years.
Excellent. Thanks so much, June. And on top of that, advising day is really great for students with their classes and making sure that they're on track to graduate. There's also a lot of support for students as they're looking to move beyond Mercyhurst and get into their careers. And we have a career development center that can assist with that. One of our ambassadors, Lauren, has had experience with the career development center. So Lauren, can you talk a little bit about what they offer in the career development center?
Yeah, so I think the Career Development Center is a really awesome tool that students have the ability to utilize. It's a free service to all Mercyhurst students and alumni that you can go and get some help with how to apply for jobs and internships. I, for one, didn't know what a cover letter was or how to write my resume. So that's tailored to my major. So I went, and they have these packets available where you fill out, okay, I'm an education student. This is my clinicals. This is where I have, worked over the summer. And, this is what I'm interested, these are some interests of mine on campus. And they take all that information of yours and they put it into a resume for you. They also help you find internships in the Erie community and, post-graduation to help you. And Handshake is a great way of helping us out. It's a website that we all have access to that you can help find internships and jobs in the area and help you get your name out there before, you need to.
Thanks so much, Lauren. And both of these opportunities, the Career Development Center, available pretty much throughout the entire academic year, including over the summer if you ever need it. Advising day, like June said, happens once a semester, but typically advisors are available more often than not, both before and after that particular day on campus. We also have a number of other resources available for students. The Writing Center is available. It's a place where students can make appointments to have a paper or anything related to writing reviewed by a peer or by a professor and get corrections to help improve their writing. This year, it is all offered virtually because of the current pandemic, but usually it's offered in person and it's located in the library. In addition to that, we have peer tutoring available for any Lauren is one of our peer tutors. I'm going to have her talk a little bit about that. So Lauren, take it away.
Absolutely. So peer tutoring, I think, is one of the best things that we have on campus. That's like a free service that you just get upon arrival to campus. Especially because peer tutoring, and I can't stress this strongly enough, is not for the people who are not doing well in classes. It's also for people who are thinking, oh my goodness, a test is coming up and I don't know what to study because I've never had this professor before. Tomorrow, I get to tutor a student in what it was an I took American government. And now I tutor at least 7 different people around the university, and they all have great grades. It's just they want to make sure that they're studying the proper material for the test. Another thing is, okay, I've never taken an econ class before. What do I do? So you go and there's this tutor track thing where you can like reserve a tutor. They put up their availability and they can have you click and they will get an email, you get an email, and you schedule a meeting with them. Right now we're meeting over Zoom, which I think is really cool. But usually you would just go to the library and swipe in and out. If you want to become a peer tutor, you can always do that as well. You just need a B or higher in the class and a recommendation from the professor. It's a super fun service that a lot of schools could utilize. I wish, more schools utilized their peer tutoring programs. A lot of my friends are not doing well in the programs they're at, and they're like, oh, I wish I had what you have. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. And like she said, it's available for any class that a student is taking, and you just have to make the request in order to do that. So in addition to that, we have some other programs that are available for students. We have our honors program for students who meet certain academic criteria when they're applying to the university. There's a number of benefits that go with it. These things include early registration to courses, specific honors classes available to students, as well as the potential for living in honors housing at some point. If you'd like to learn more about that program, you can go to our website, mercyhurst.edu/honors, to learn more. 2 other programs Mercyhurst is very well known for are support services directly for students. We have a learning differences program. If you're a student who has specific accommodations in the classroom, such as you get extra time on tests, you have a quiet space to take tests, if you need to have somebody take notes for you, or if you use technology in a different way to help you learn, this is a great office that I think you should look into. Our website's located right on the screen. It's mercyhurst.edu/learning-differences. This website will explain everything that you need to know about the program, how you can apply for accommodations, and what the program support system looks like. And if it's something that you think is a good fit, I highly recommend you reach out to that office to learn a little bit more. We also have an autism initiative at Mercyhurst program. It's affectionately known as AIM on campus. And this program is designed for students who fall on the autism spectrum. I know that June was actually talking about it before. And June, I was wondering, would you be willing to share some of your experiences on the benefits of the program?
Not at all. So I will put it this way. I am the only ambassador who is in the AIM program, and I do not mind disclosing that I have autism. Now, some people may see that as a weakness, but I find my autism as a strength. So this is one of the reasons why I also chose Mercyhurst, is because of this very strong reputation that this program offered. We get specialized housing, we have extra advising, there's services available. We have peer mentors. There's a lot of benefits for students who have autism, and it's really tied to students who are looking at college who may have some autism but are not sure how to navigate a college campus once they are on college or are attending a different university. One of the cool highlights that I was being able to participate in for 2 summers was the Summer Create program. And that is run by AIM, which is a college readiness course curriculum for 3 weeks. And that gives students the a little bit exposure of what college life is, because we get to live on the campus here at Mercyhurst for 3 weeks before in the summer, get to take college courses, earn credits, and kind of navigate our way around college campus. And that was a very good assessment because it gave me a little bit leeway on determining am I prepared for college when I was finally entering, and it did. It definitely shapes me. But we have also career advice. We have career paths. We have the ACE domain, so that's the academic, independent, social, and emotional, and also vocational areas that are advisors. That is who I meet on a weekly basis. We touch base on that to make sure so that they can see where we are standing wise, not just in those criterias. So that is what AIM is that is how I was introduced to AIM, and that is why I am so grateful to have this program. And that you can find more of this info on that website that we do have featured, and you can see who the AIM staff are as well and see what their profile is like.
Thanks so much, June. Couldn't have said it better myself. Check out the website. If there's anything else you'd like to learn about the program, or, if you want to reach out to the AIM staff members and ask particular questions about the program, you are more than welcome to do that as well. So just briefly, I want to talk a little bit about study abroad opportunities. I know that this is a weird time to be talking about study abroad since there are not many people that are studying abroad at this point, but this is something that we really encourage our students to take advantage of if they're able to. 1 in 4 of our students at Mercyhurst do end up studying abroad. We have a sister campus over in our sister city of Dungarvan, Ireland. It's an 8-week study abroad opportunity for students. Students will go over to Ireland with faculty and fellow classmates from our Mercyhurst campus. They will take classes during the week as you normally would. They will sleep in a residence hall. They'll eat in a dining hall. They're just doing it in Ireland. There's a lot of travel opportunities on the weekends when you're doing that 8-week trip. We have a lot of close connections with the local Irish government as well as some of the other areas on campus in Ireland as well, so that students can really take advantage of their experiences while they're there. We also have a shorter option if 8 weeks seems like a long time, or if for some reason that 8-week schedule doesn't work for you. We have faculty student academic travel, which we call FSAT. You'll take a course in a semester. It may be a traditional 16-week course in a semester. It may also be a shorter course, 7 or 8 weeks long. And during a break, you'll take a trip affiliated with the class. For example, you may take an art history course and you may then go on a tour of Europe, and in every city you go to, you visit a cathedral because that's what your course focused on. There's a wide variety of things that are offered for students. You can go depending on what courses are offered that seem most interesting to you, or the ones that fit best in your liberal arts curriculum. Like it says, the options change each year, so we're not going to the same places all the time. There's a wide variety of things you can choose from. If there's somewhere you want to go for a longer period of time, or a place that you really want to go to that is not offered through one of the other 2 options, we have partnerships outside of campus that we can help you get connected with so that you can get your experiences off campus. Many of our students who study a language will take advantage of these types of opportunities to go and study in a country that speaks the language that they're studying for an extended period of time to get immersed in the culture and to hone their language skills a little bit more. For any of these questions related to study abroad opportunities and any of the 3 options, you can go to our Office of Global Programs website at mercyhurst.edu/study-abroad. So we can help you in that department if you have any specific questions about that. All right, so you guys have been hearing from our ambassadors up to this point. I'm going to have them talk a little bit more about some of the other opportunities that are available on campus. Normally on a campus tour, you would see these different departments as you're walking through, and our students are really great about telling you about them. And what better way for you to get the full experience of Mercyhurst than to hear from current students about it. So I'm going to hand it off to Lauren to talk a little bit about residence. Go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. So residence life on campus is really cool. We have 3 different options for freshmen on campus. So we have the co-ed residence hall, all male residence hall, and all female residence halls. The all female residence hall is named Baldwin Hall. It's suite style living. You're allowed to have a mini fridge. You share a room with one other person, but then you share a bathroom with the adjoining 2-person bedroom. So it's really like you're sharing as a girl only with 3 other girls. Much appreciated by me. It's a community style building, so a lot of the girls kind of keep their doors open. It's very trusting and definitely community style, and you get to kind of create your own Mercyhurst legacy by painting a brick in the welcome week of school. So that's kind of cool. We also have the all-male residence hall available, which is Macaulay Hall. That is where the males, you live with one other male, and then the male's wing shares a bathroom, but you have your own sink in the room, so you don't have to go brush your teeth down the hall. Each of the rooms has a bed, a desk, a chair, a closet, and dresser drawers. And then we also have, that's double for each room. And then we have the 3rd residence hall, which it could be double or triple depending on the admission size and how that's going that year. But you can opt into a triple in Ward Hall. So this is a co-ed residence hall. It's divided by gender, by wing. So it's not going to be like boy, girl, boy, girl. It's going to be like a girl wing, boy wing. And then the students they have their own bathroom and sink outside the bathroom in each of the individual rooms. It is a very spacious residence hall. It was meant to be tripled, so don't worry if it's a triple, you got plenty of space. And everything would be the same, but 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 dressers, 2 closets, and then there would be a bunking bed mechanism and a lofted bed where you would put the desk, the chair, and as shown in the picture to you right now. There's as you go through Mercyhurst, there's different residence abilities. So freshman year, we really focus on, building that community. You have your RA at your beck and call. You always have your RA at your beck and call. And they're available 24/7 to you. As you go up, there's a little bit more of independency given through the way that you live at Mercyhurst. So sophomore year, we have this new residence hall. It's mostly sophomores. It can be other upperclassmen. And it's called Ryan Hall. It's our newest residence hall on campus. And there's like food places that are inside of here. It's like really nice. When I lived there, I had, my slippers on and would go down to dinner. It's really a nice community to have. That is more like a suite style living, but apartment hybrid is what I would call it. So it's like an apartment, kind of like a suite style living, where it's like 2 ward rooms mashed together with a common area in between. Then we also have apartment style living on campus for upperclassmen. Those are really nice too. That we have Duval, we have the Briggs and Lewis apartments, and then we also have townhouses available, mostly for seniors, maybe some juniors, depending. So you kind of, as you progress through the Mercyhurst University, adulthood, I would say, pre-adulthood time, you really do get that like independency as you move through the different resident life areas.
Excellent. Thanks so much for that, Lauren. All right, next we're going to move on to dining on campus. June, can you talk a little bit about some of the dining services that are available to students on campus?
Sure. So there are 2 like main dining cafeterias. One is the most famous is the Grotto Commons, which is shown with the Bravissimo station with the chef flaming the flaming the pan. And then in Ryan Hall, we have the 501 grill at Ryan Hall as well. And then we also have in the student union down below, we have the Laker Inn, as well as our Roost, which is our little Irish style themed pub. Also in the photos there. For the Roost, you do not have to be 21 to go in. You can they definitely serve the food as well. You would just usually get a wristband to indicate no alcohol service, but it is not restricted to anyone, to just 21 students, students who are 21. But the grotto, there are variety of stations. We currently have the salad bar, the grill station. We have the daily dish, which is where the actual main entree or meal will be served. In the back, we have the clean plates, and that is nice because that is where food that has meets dietary needs. So anyone who has an allergen, the restriction, can definitely go to the clean plate and can have food that satisfies their needs. In the middle, we have 3 stations kind of clumped together, which is a deli. You can make your own sandwich. We have a soup station, and then the Bravissimo, which is pictured in the photo. That is usually, if we're not in the COVID, a chef would be cooking very small plate size, healthy meals right in front of you, and then you could just grab it right away and just go. We also have a little breakfast nook for cereal, waffles is a very spot. Right now that's taken over by where our sweet spot, so a little dessert display is nice. And then the other one is the oven. So that's where our general pizzas and pasta are on display. So that's the layout of the grotto. For the 501 grill, we do have a lot of pizza and pasta as well stations, and there's not a lot more. There isn't a lot of variety, I would say, in Ryan Hall versus the grotto, but those two are the most general hotspots for freshmen to dine in. We also have a lot of little restaurants throughout that are scattered around. You have a lot of Starbucks. We have the Anchor Express, which is a little C-store style in Ryan Hall. That's where you can just buy grab and go products. We have a Starbucks in there, also in the bookstore as well. And another one that I like that is within the hospitality department is our Cafe Diem. That's what you would usually see very first thing from in our Center for Academic Engagement building, and that is where the 24/7 Study Lounge is. And that is our student-run hospitality concession stand, where we serve a variety of sandwiches, salads, pizzas, you name it, little snacks for students who need a little study break but don't want to go far within that building. We got you guys covered. So that is a good layout of all the dining options we offer on campus.
Thanks so much, June. And the pictures you see on this slide are just glimpses of some of the dining services that we have. I know June mentioned the Bravissimo, which is the photo all the way on your right, as well as the Laker Inn, which is top left, and then the Roost, which is the bottom left. So you have a wide variety of options that you can choose from, and students are welcome to go to any of those options. Chances are you'll be eating at each of them at some point throughout your 4 years. All right, so Lauren, can you touch a little bit about wellness for our students?
Absolutely. So there's so much that we have on campus that keeps you well and safe. I'm going to start with the safety. We have our police and safety department on campus. It's behind Macaulay Hall. But there are always people there, but more often than not, you're going to see people riding on the little golf cart gator things around campus every 7 to 10 minutes. We also have a blue light system on campus that's in place for if you're on what I would call an extremity of campus, farther from like the central part of campus, you can hit this if you just feel like a little something that says, you know, something's not right here. I can honestly say I've never felt that on campus. I've seen the testing for the blue lights, so they do work, but that's the only time I've seen the blue lights needed. So they just check to make sure they're still working. But I've never actually seen them go. I always feel very safe on campus. A great example of that is I lost my phone for 15 minutes on campus and was already in police and safety, and they were very upset that I kept pressing find my iPhone because it gave them like such a loud noise. So you're good. We have a lot of things on campus that keep you, well. For one thing, we have the Cohen Student Health Center, which is for physical ailments, like I'm feeling flu-like symptoms. What do I do? It's more like an urgent care type practice, family practice. You can call in and get an appointment there very easily, free to students. Another thing is I'm not feeling really well. I miss my dog. I'm feeling homesick, that kind of thing. The top of the health center is like a mental health place, which is really nice. They also have a meditation room up there. I'm not gonna lie, very, very fun in the meditation room. We have yoga on campus from Yoga Club. We also have a rec center that's available to all students, free. You just swipe in your card, and they have all kinds of machinery, that kind of thing. They have an indoor like basketball court that you can use. So we have a lot of things that keep you well. We also have spiritual wellness on campus. We have a lot of things in our campus ministry office that we have a retreat that I say that's the retreat you never know you needed. It's like a relaxation retreat more than a spiritual, we do have Christian roots, but they get you we're all inclusive. So this particular retreat is not very religious based. It's just, let's all take a breath in the middle of the semester type thing. And they can give you options of places to worship on campus that's available to students. We also have transportation through the Erie bus system. So you can bus, it's free to students. The Erie City buses, I've never felt unsafe on there either. And they're free to students. So you have that availability there. You can worship that way as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lauren. And one other part of our counseling center that goes with the meditation room, the photo on the left, you see Bailey. Bailey's our resident therapy dog. If you ever need a little pick-me-up or you just need something furry to pet for a couple of minutes, Bailey's around campus pretty consistently. So he's a very popular part of Mercyhurst campus and is always available should you ever need it. And like I said, that's part of the health center, the counseling center, for any students who want to make an appointment there. All right. So Henley, can you talk a little bit about campus involvement? This is a pretty big topic on our campus, and I know that you'll be able to touch a little bit on everything.
Yes, so there really is so much to do on campus, whether you're interested in athletics or the musical or artsy side, or just getting involved in a club, whether it is like a service club or academic club, really whatever you're interested in, there's usually something for everyone. And so going off of clubs, like I mentioned, you can get involved in academic clubs, whether it is like Tri-Beta, which is our biology honors club, or you can get involved in like a business club, something like that, which helps you make connections with alumni and kind of just get more experience in what you're interested in. But there's also fun clubs like yoga club, gaming club, baking club, a bunch of just random clubs like that, where it's a great way to kind of just relax, have fun, like meet some other people outside of your major and outside of your classes, which is really nice, especially as a freshman, because it helps get you out there again, meeting new people, just getting those experiences. However, if there's not a single club that you like that we have on our campus, but you really want to get involved, it's super easy to start your own club. You just need to grab a small group of friends and then find a faculty advisor, like a mentor, and then you can go to our student government and they'll give you a stipend and help get you started so that you have your own club and can pretty much do whatever you want on campus. And then secondly, we also have a lot of activities within our like musical department, such as theatrical, music, dance, anything like that. We have a bunch of not only clubs or like dance teams, but you can get involved in theater, whether it's behind the scenes or on the set, or just actually acting, singing, dancing. You don't have to be a major to get involved. There are, again, like different clubs you can do, or you can volunteer, offer to help out for a production, just whatever it is you're interested in. There's always different ways to go out and find whatever it is you want to do. And then lastly, we also do have athletics. So if you're interested in competing in college, you can join one of our varsity athletic teams. We are a Division II school. However, we do have 2 Division I programs, which are men's and women's ice hockey. So it's always, I'm a student athlete myself. So if you have any questions about that, I think participating in a sport is just a great way to get another kind of view on the college experience. I think it really opens you up to a lot of opportunities you never would have realized that you would have had before. And you just get to meet all these different people, from your teammates to your coaches and just places you travel. So it is a lot of fun and teaches you a lot of skills like time management and leadership, which are valuable for your future careers. However, if you don't want to go commit all the way to like a varsity sport, there's always club sports you can do. And we have a wide variety of club sports, from equestrian and sailing just to like volleyball or soccer. And we even do a lot of tournaments, like we do 3-on-3 basketball tournaments or kickball games, frisbee matches, things like that. So there's a bunch of different levels of competition that you can get involved in for whatever suits you. But yeah, there's pretty much always events going on around campus. We even have our student council. So we have our SAC and MAC, which are Students Activities Council and Multicultural Activities Council. And they're like little subgroups of our student government that plan activities for students on campus to do each weekend. And they're really good about planning events for students. Every Friday, Saturday, pretty much, there's something going on throughout the semester, and you'll get a calendar so that you know ahead of time what's going on, when it's going to be, where it's going to be, so you can go. And some of these are on campus and some are off campus. Like we've done events where they set up a big projector screen and bring in this gourmet popcorn so you can go and have like a cozy movie night with friends. Personally, I kind of just go for the popcorn because I love popcorn, but you can take your pick. And we've even done things like Animal Invasion, where they've brought in little animals from the Erie Zoo, like reptiles or bunnies. You can kind of take your pick, whichever is a stress reliever for you. But they also do off-campus events, and one of our most notable or popular is our Target After Hours, where they give students like a $10 to $15 gift card, ship them up to Target after it closes, and kind of just let them run wild, which is like every college student's dream. So all of these events are free for students. However, the off-campus ones are first come, first serve because of transportation, pricing, and whatnot. So there really is always something for you to do on campus every weekend, every day, just to get out, meet new people, kind of relax and find something new to do.
Thanks so much, Henley. One quick tidbit, if you wouldn't mind sharing, that has become a big staple on our campus is Hearst Day. Can you touch a little bit upon what Hearst Day is?
Certainly, yes. So Hearst Day is this huge event on campus that everyone looks forward to each year. So President Victor, when he came in a couple of years ago, he wanted to have this day at the beginning of the school year where all the students kind of just get together, have a break from their studies and tests, and just kind of relax, get to know each other. And they do this in the beginning of the school year, which is really helpful for freshmen because, again, it's another way for you to get out, meet new people, and just learn more about campus and becoming more comfortable here with everyone. And so what this day is it's kind of just, it's a really fun day. It's almost like a theme park day because there's a bunch of rides, it's not like food trucks, but we have tents set up everywhere with different food themes. So you can get a bunch of, like, I think I got some kind of like Hawaiian shrimp thing last year, which was really good, but they do like barbecue and a bunch of other things that are really yummy. But so it's a surprise day. Nobody knows when it is except for President Victor and a couple of his closest members. And so every year students like to guess when it's going to be. It's just a game the first couple of weeks. Is it Hearst Day tomorrow? Is it Hearst Day? And one day you'll just wake up at 6 a.m. to bagpipes going throughout campus, and then you know it's Hearst Day. And so when it's Hearst Day, all classes are canceled, all activities, you have no obligations for the majority of the day. And you can just kind of go out, have fun with friends, go on all these rides, whether it is like a bouncy house, or sometimes we have a miniature zip line or like a jump you can do in all these different games. They've done laser tag in the past. Like, it's just a bunch of fun activities where you can kind of be a kid and forget that you have all these college responsibilities. But they also kickstart the day off with a scavenger hunt. And so you can put together teams and you can win prizes for either completing or being like one of the top 3 to complete the scavenger hunt, or for costume prizes. So a lot of people go all out with trying to make costumes. So it's just a really fun day. And again, it also helps you kind of get around campus and learn all the shortcuts and all the sweet spots. So Hearst Day is just this really exciting day. I think that actually on the picture on the left looks like it might just be from Hearst Day. So yeah, unfortunately, because of COVID, we did not have it this year, but still fingers crossed for some kind of spring event they might surprise us with. But if you guys come, you would for sure get to do Hearst Day, and it would for sure be one of the best days you ever get here.
Thanks so much, Henley. And even though I'm a staff member and I don't always get to participate in the Hearst Day activities, it's always a fun day to be on campus. So as a student, it's one of the best days that I think students can safely say they really enjoy in the fall semester whenever it falls. So thank you all for sharing your experiences. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to Jake to talk a little bit about admissions and financial aid at Mercyhurst.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Just before I start, I want to let you guys know, as admissions counselors, we're with you guys start to finish through this entire process. So Danielle and I would receive your application, review it, and also do financial aid for you guys. So you're more than welcome to reach out to us at any time, so don't hesitate if you have any questions. I'll start by going over the application. So Mercyhurst is rolling admission, which means we don't have a set time or date as to when your application needs to be started or submitted. So we do give you a pretty large window of time. I've just been encouraging students to take your time. If you want to apply now, by all means, you're welcome to do so. As you can see, both the Common App and the Mercyhurst Self-Reported app, which is our own application, they have been open for a while now. So you are welcome to apply now. If you want to wait later on the semester, that's still okay as well. The remaining parts of the application are pretty easy. Usually most kids will start with one of those online applications. The Common App, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Common App, is a single application that can be used for multiple schools. So if you're applying to Mercyhurst, but then say you want to apply to, I don't know, like Ohio State or the University of Pitt, as long as they're all on the Common App, then you can use the same application that you used for us for those guys as well. So it is pretty nice for that conveniency. And then the Mercyhurst Self-Reported app, it's nice because you're self-reporting and you're doing everything at your own pace. So you might be able to finish your application a little sooner. So they both have their perks, but it's really just what works best for you and what you're more comfortable with. And so once you complete one of those applications, you just need to submit a high school transcript, a writing sample that's about, I think, like 600 words or so. So it's not terribly long. One letter of recommendation, but you could have more. I'd assumed that gave me about 7 or 8 last year. If you want to do 7 or 8, you can, but obviously every college is different. So I think it might not hurt to have 3 or 4 just to be safe. And then lastly, you just need your transcripts, or excuse me, your test scores. But Mercyhurst is a test optional school. So if you either haven't been able to take the SAT or the ACT this year due to COVID, or you're just not too comfortable with test taking, you don't have to submit those scores. Because when we look at applications, we focus on everything on a holistic basis. And, you know, we've never found test scores to be the best way to judge a student, because everyone is very different when it comes to testing. And, you know, it's more important, I think, to see what you've done the last 4 years than 4 hours on a Saturday morning. I mean, if you want to submit them, you're still more than welcome to. But again, it's nice because you're not looked at any differently in the process. If you do or don't go in test optional, you're not penalized in any way. So it'll, like I said, it'll give you a lot of flexibility when that time comes. And then you can see here, these were the average GPA and test scores that we got last year. So a 3.4 for a GPA, an SAT that was around 1070, and then an ACT around 23. But if you don't have that GPA or those test scores, that is okay, because again, with the holistic approach, we're going to look at everything that's on your application. So, you know, we like to see the well-roundedness in our students, as well as, you know, being strong academically. So seeing clubs or sports or, you know, other types of, you know, community service or things outside the classroom, those things are just as great as having, you know, that GPA and test score. So next I want to go over financial aid. So as I said before, we do financial aid for you guys. So again, reach out to us if you have questions about them. These are the types of financial aid that we offer. The first is institutional aid. Institutional aid is financial aid awarded from the university. So that could be the merit scholarships, which I can touch on in a few minutes here. Talent-based aid, because we are Division I, Division II schools, so we can offer athletic scholarships. So that is a possibility that you could have added onto your package. We have need-based aid through the Mercy and the presidential grants. Those are all things that could be awarded, you know, from the university. And as I said before, we do have merit scholarships. They range from about $12,000 to $24,000, and they're usually the bulk of your financial aid. And usually most of our students, about 95% of them actually qualify for something in between there. So they're usually not too hard to qualify for. But in the case that you don't qualify for something, we can try to replace it with something else. But that is institutional aid. That is aid awarded from the university to you. The next type of aid is the Pennsylvania State Grant, or FIA. So for those of you that are tuning in from Pennsylvania, this is specifically for you, and it's for anyone that has filed the FAFSA before May 1st and shows financial assistance. So not everyone will qualify for this, but for those of you from Pennsylvania that meet those qualifications, you could possibly receive this. Next is federal student loans. These are for anyone that files your FAFSA, which I'll go over in the next slide, more about the FAFSA and the purpose of it. But if you file your FAFSA, you'll be automatically eligible for financial aid, and you'll receive $5,500 in loans from us. Now, you don't have to accept the loans, but we always put them on there as an option to show you qualified. And if you want to pursue them, by all means, you're welcome to do so. But you are not obligated by any means to take those loans out. It's just something for you to consider and to try to check out. After the federal student loans, there's also federal grants that you could receive. And usually the more common one that students will receive is a Pell Grant. And this is a nationwide grant for anyone around the country that has filed their FAFSA before May 1st and does show financial assistance. So it's pretty similar to FIA, except this is something that everyone nationwide could receive if they do show financial assistance. And for those of you from Pennsylvania, some of you might be able to receive both Pell and FIA. It's not always a guarantee, but it is a possibility. So that's just something to think of. And then lastly, we have federal work study. This is probably, for the most part, students that show financial need, but the university does have a lot of part-time jobs on campus that you could qualify for, or apply for, just like it were a job. So, regardless if you get work study or not, there's going to be some type of employment on campus that you can try to pursue. And whatever you do with the money that you receive from that employment is up to you. For federal work study, I had a lot of friends that went to Mercyhurst and had work study, and they put theirs towards their tuition and their books. So you could do that. You could use it for personal use. It's really just up to you. And again, there's a lot of different work studies and part-time jobs on campus that we provide. And then lastly, this is the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA is what a lot of people know it as. For those of you that aren't familiar with the FAFSA, it is essentially a form that you fill out that automatically makes you eligible for financial aid. So you have to file it in order to receive some type of financial assistance. And basically, with the use of your tax information, it's going to be showing us how much money you would be able to contribute towards your education. Now, it's going to be different for every family, and the FAFSA has never, in the past, it's never been accurate. It certainly won't be accurate this year, especially with everything that happened with COVID. So, we definitely still encourage you to file it, and, we'll try to work with you the best we can through the financial aid process itself. But the FAFSA did, for those of you that haven't done it yet, you can start filing it as of October 1st. So feel free to start getting that filled out. They give you step-by-step instructions on their website. So if you have any questions, they have a lot of support numbers on there too that you can call. Danielle and I can probably help you to some degree, but certainly reach out to them if you have specific questions that you need answered. And when you file your FAFSA, you're going to receive a FAFSA ID and a password. This is essentially going to allow you to log in and out of your FAFSA. So you don't have to sit down and complete it all at once. If you want to do some of it today and then, maybe finish the rest of it tomorrow, you could do that. You just need to make sure you have your FAFSA ID and password in hand so you can just log in and out. And essentially, once you fill it out, all you need to do is provide Mercyhurst's FAFSA code, which is in the presentation here. So take a picture of it, or, you should be able to find it on the form itself. But just make sure that you have that code on your FAFSA, and then we will receive it. It usually takes a few days for us to get it. But once we receive it, we can officially start, going through the financial aid process with you. And I should also add too, at this point, Mercyhurst's sticker price is around $53,000. So because of our sticker price, we're going to work with you guys very closely through this process with making it as affordable as it can be. Obviously no one is going to pay the full $53,000. I mean, that would be just insane. But, we'll try to do everything we can on our end to try to help you out with, making it as affordable as it can be. And this is definitely the first step, because as I said before, to receive some type of financial aid, you have to file your FAFSA, and we always encourage you to do it. And then lastly, these are just the list of reasons as to why we think Mercyhurst would be a nice fit for you. But we want to take the time to have our ambassadors explain their reasonings as to why they chose Mercyhurst. So Henley, I'll start with you. What made you decide Mercyhurst is your school of choice?
So I chose Mercyhurst. You'll probably hear this a lot, but just because of the family atmosphere. Mercyhurst is such like a tight-knit community. It's so hard not to feel at home here. Like I love how every time I walk across campus, I get that friendly like smile or wave just from someone I know. It just kind of like lifts your day up a little more than you realize. And so I love that how I'm guaranteed to always see someone I know or just like feel at home here. However, even though it is a small campus, it's also large enough that you're going to walk around and see people you don't know and have the opportunity to make new friends and just explore new things. So I also like that aspect of as well. But I also just, besides the family atmosphere and just the friendly community, I also loved how Mercyhurst is willing to work with you with whatever it is, whether it's kind of like working with different majors and minors to either combine them or kind of make your own concentration so that you can really study what you want to study. Or like in my experience, being a dual sport athlete, like I wouldn't have had that opportunity at other colleges, but Mercyhurst has allowed me to do that. And so I just love how Mercyhurst is willing to work with you so that you can achieve what you want to do and be successful.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. June, what made you decide that Mercyhurst was your school of choice?
So I know I touched this a lot in the beginning about my major, but it's really a combo of hospitality and also the AIM program, which I had to credit my parents for finding, because without this program, I do not think I would survive in any other college setting. But it's also the family also pointing out what Henning said, the family aspect, but within my major and with the AIM department is what really sold it for me. Because I really love having the one-on-one, the community like contact and friendship bond, not just with my fellow classmates, but with the faculty as well. I really love the approach and the supports that our faculty show us. We are like a 13-to-1 faculty ratio. So that is very comforting to know that we are not a school that will reach over 100 students in one class. The biggest is really 30 to a class. So that is very calming to realize that, to really know the aspect that our faculty see us not as a number, but as a whole person. That is something that was very personal to me. And that is one of the biggest perks of why I felt so comfortable thriving and just being myself on campus for all these times. So that is another big reason why I feel Hurst is home forever to me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And then lastly, Lauren, what made you decide that Mercyhurst was your school of choice?
Well, Jake, when you have people go first, they really pick your options, don't they? The community feel, definitely what Henley said, is so friendly and welcoming on campus. And then echoing what June said, not being a number in a class. Like I have a professor that if you're late to her class or you're not there, she will like FaceTime you and make sure you're okay. Like, so it is, you do have that close-knit relationship with your professors and that kind of thing. I do have to say there is like these niche programs that a lot of schools don't offer. So I found Mercyhurst kind of by just looking for art therapy, because I didn't know if I wanted to do education or art therapy. And that's a very hard to find field. Intelligence studies is hard to find. So there's definitely these like hidden gems within Mercyhurst is what I would like to call them.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, guys.
All right. So if anybody has any questions at this point, if you'd like to ask them aloud, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and do so, or feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm going to take it from the silence that either people are thinking or nobody has any questions, which either are fine. But if anything comes up or while you're thinking or typing, I do want to share some more information about how you can reach out to us after you're done here. So there's a couple of things that we would recommend if there's anything that you may need through the rest of this process. Number one, depending on where you live, you're going to have an admissions counselor assigned to you. Jake touched upon that earlier on in the presentation. This is our list of all of our counselors as well as the quote unquote territories that they work with. So depending on where you're located, you'll have a specific counselor. All of their contact information is there. After this, please feel free to reach out. Like Jake said, we're going to be working with you really closely throughout your college decision process. So don't ever hesitate to reach out, make a connection with us. We like to talk to people. It's part of the reason that we are in this position and we do what we do. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. All right, so it looks like we had 2 questions in the chat. And maybe, Lauren, I think you might be a good person to touch on this right now. One of the questions is, Mercyhurst doing distance learning on campus right now. I assume that this is being asked in light of what's going on with COVID. So can you touch on your experiences right now?
Yeah, so I'm actually a student who's working remote this semester from home. I applied through, the Learning Differences program to work remote. I was not, with the current situation, my health was at risk. So I am taking this semester to work from home. Next semester, I think I will be working in person. I don't know how to student teach virtually right now. So I will be student teaching in the spring. So that's what I'm looking for. So it is an option for students who are immunosuppressed or have health conditions that are more at risk. So that's what I'm doing. Most students are on campus right now and doing quite well. I'm keeping in contact quite well with a lot of people, and the guidelines and stuff are going super well. I can't really, personally attest to that, but from what I'm hearing, but it is an option if this, I hope it doesn't continue very long more, but that is an option if you are immunosuppressed.
Thanks, Lauren. And like she said, most students are on campus taking their courses and everything like that. So with students being on campus, some of their classes may still be online, some of them may be in person. So it really just depends on your schedule and the type of classes you're taking in the semester. I've talked to a few ambassadors. Henley, June, I don't know where you stand on this. You guys are welcome to touch on this, but I've heard from a couple ambassadors that their 5 classes this semester happen to all be in person. So they're very lucky they've been able to do that. Have either of you do you have a mix? Do you have all in person? Are you mostly online? Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have a mix actually. So I have one class that's the room is big enough that we're always in person. And then I have one class that's actually always online. But then the rest of my classes are a mix. So half the day or half the time I'm in class and half the time I'm online. However, even for one of those classes, we've worked it out because we do discussions once a week where if we have a group of students who are presenting stand at the front of the room, then the rest of everyone else in the class is able to come in. So we actually have I'm in class more than I'm not in class still. So it is really nice because I know it can be hard to learn via distance learning. So the professors they all really want to be in person too because they miss seeing everyone's face. So they're all willing to work around and try and find ways that we can still be together.
Yeah,
Thanks, Henley.
Yeah, and I'll just add on, echoing off of Henley. One of my classes is fully. 2 of my classes are really fully on person, and one of them is with a lab within my major because I had to be in the kitchen, which is very good for my senior meal project that I have to complete. We are able to still fulfill and meet the criteria of distancing in the kitchen. We have plexiglass all around. But some of my other classes, some of them are a little bit more hybrid style where 2 of my classes, I am separated into an A and B group, where one day I will be remotely online on Zoom, and then the other day I will be in person. And so that is how professors can easily alternate and keep track on which students are attending virtually or in person. what's also nice is that if there is a day where where I'm filling out the our screening form and saying that I do not feel well, and they would suggest to not have me be in person in classes, then I can easily alert my professors to say, hey, I still want to attend, but can I attend virtually through Zoom? And they have the links, they are trained, and they have the resources to set up a Zoom link for me to still attend, but through virtually. So that way I do not miss any course material that is new. So that is a way we are being flexible of online teaching and learning throughout the semester.
Great. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing all of that. We had another question come in, and Henley, I'm going to throw this to you. Somebody asked how diverse our campus is. Can you talk a little bit about the student body as a whole?
Yes. So our campus is actually very diverse, which is nice because you get to meet that wide variety of people. But if you were able to come to campus and have a tour, we'd actually walk you through the student union where you would see a bunch of flags basically hanging from the wall. And each of these flags represent either a country a student has gone to for study abroad or come from to study here at Mercyhurst. And we have so many different flags. It's really cool to see. But especially being an athlete, a lot of our athletes are from different countries. So like, for instance, I'm on the rowing team, and I'd say at least like half of our athletes are from different teams, whether we have someone from Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Serbia, England, Italy, like it just keeps going. And so it's really cool to meet all these different people because you get to learn about their background and their culture, and they bring things over and share with you. And so even if you're not on a team, you're guaranteed to make friends and meet people who are from not only different parts of the country, but different parts of the world. And so Mercyhurst is really good about including everyone and just making everyone feel like one and like they're at home. So you do get these opportunities to have these different experiences and just to basically have fun with everyone and not feel like everyone's separated. Like it's really great time to meet all these people and feel like you're all together here.
Great. Thank you so much, Henley. And Lauren, I know that you are a double major. So somebody asked, how flexible is Mercyhurst when it comes to double majoring?
Super flexible. So I came in not knowing if I was going to be education, which would be, I mean, where I was going to either do a double major in early childhood and special ed, or art therapy and maybe an education course. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something in this career path. With the help of advisors and that kind of thing, you create this 4-year plan, and the 4-year plan is super helpful in knowing that you're taking the correct things. And this is an advising day activity. The 4-year plan is also very flexible in the way that we have this core curriculum here. It's a REACH curriculum. So each letter in the word REACH represents our core curriculum here. So we have a religion course, we have a history course, there's various things. But within that, there's a lot of flexibility. And some things, can double team. So like if you have an art class, but it also works for a major or a minor, it can like complete 2 boxes in the same way. A lot of the schools that I was looking at, they're like, you can't do art therapy and do education. Like you got to make up your mind. And that's not the way I wanted to go into it. So a lot of Mercyhurst is trying to get you to like that point where it's like, no regrets. Like I want this in some capacity, no regret. I want to do it. And they will find a way to do it. I will be graduating in 4 years. I did bring in some college and high school credits. I also brought in some AP credits. And I've taken like community courses, classes at community colleges back home over like the summer in high school. So that helped me. And I'm kind of like an oddball case because I am a double major, double minor, but I know a lot of people that are graduating in 4 years that are literally double majors or major and a minor, 2 minors and a major. Like there's no, the sky's the limit on what you can do. I mean, they will find a way to do it. So, bringing in credits can help, but honestly, we're really good at getting you graduated in 4 years with our core curriculum the way that it is now.
Thanks, Lauren. And I know that earlier in the presentation, somebody had asked a question about a physician assistant track and the best pathway to take that. I want to loop in an answer to that question to tie on exactly to what Lauren said too. Like she said, our faculty are really supportive of pretty much anything a student wants to do, and they're very willing to help you find a way to go about getting on the career path that you're interested in. So one thing I'd recommend, this was a very general presentation and everything, but if you want to learn more specifically about a certain program, or if you'd like to talk to some of our faculty members about a career path that you're considering and try to see what the best pathway is for you to take, one thing I recommend is scheduling a visit with us. I'd recommend a virtual visit if you want to talk to a professor. Even if you were to come to campus, unfortunately, we can't set up any meetings with faculty at this time. However, virtually, we'll set up a meeting like this, but more on a one-on-one basis, where you and a professor will be able to talk a little bit more about a specific program, career opportunities, internship opportunities, curriculum, pretty much anything you'd like to know about the program. So if you go to the website that's on our slide here, mercyhurst.edu/visit, you can sign up for a virtual visit and choose anything you'd like to participate in during a virtual visit to get as much information as you need about our department. Are there any other questions that anybody had before we end our presentation here? All right, I'm gonna take the silence as a no. So if you guys think of anything else, again, please don't forget, reach out to your admissions counselor. Let us know what we can do to make things easy for you through this process. We hope to see you on campus sometime soon for an in-person visit, or we hope to see you virtually for a virtual visit. So let us know what we can do to help. But in the meantime, carpe diem, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.